So the objective of this session is to make sure that you all understand our performance management process. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to go through some of the critical areas, which I'm sure you all have questions about. So the first one is a recap of what our full year appraisal process should look like, right? Then we'll also go through our SMART KPIs. We'll go through how to upload your KPIs on Seamless HR. We'll go through what the total value and weights should look like. We'll go through one-on-ones and go through the process of that. We'll go through what calibration is, what your scores mean for you, and what our performance tracks and how does it work. We'll also go through salary increases and how does that work? And then finally, we'll go through CC Hub promotion routes. So this diagram, which I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing now for a while, is a summary of our full year appraisal process. It basically captures how we do appraisal from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And I'll take you through this story in a diagram form. Now, in January, as you all know, we have our strategy sessions. The management team gets together once a year and we make sure that we look at our strategy, we work on the strategy. This year we worked on a 5-year strategy, which we have broken down into yearly OKRs for our respective practices. Now, this has now been cascaded down, and through that, people were set KPIs or objectives, right? As it's called on Seamless HR. So it all ties in together with the strategy. That's all done in January. Now, the other thing that's done in January is we look at the full year performance scores for each and every member of staff from the year before. So in this case, 2024 performance, the review for that was done in January. You did your self-appraisal, the line manager appraised you, and eventually when that process was done, we had a calibration meeting to go over everyone's performance. And we'll get to calibration in a bit more detail, right? So all of that happens, or is supposed to happen, around that January period. Now, sometimes because of scheduling and conflicting meetings, we may not necessarily fulfill all of that by January, but between January and February at the latest, all of that is done. Other things that are meant to happen at the beginning of the year. In February, each and every staff is meant to set up their one-on-ones with their line managers. And one-on-ones happen every 2 months. So you should, if you haven't already, you should have set it up with your line manager for February, for April to June, August, October, and December, right? So what this does is it makes sure that you're on track with your performance, and it helps to bridge any performance gaps in between the performance review periods. Now, in July, midway through the year, we do something called a H1 review. Now, you remember that in January, you set up your KPIs on Seamless HR for the year. In July, we review how you're doing. Are you on track? The deliverables that may have been set for that half of the year, have they been done? The deliverables that are full year deliverables, are they on track? What are the issues? Do we want to add some kind of an intervention at this point to make sure that by end of the year we deliver? And do we want to reaffirm these goals for the year? This is what you're going to be doing in July. And then you continue with your O3s to the end of the year. And then in January, you have your full year review. It's as simple as that. I mean, this diagram kind of says it all.